Here's 26 truths about cold approach I know now that I wish I knew earlier. I learned these the hard way from the mean streets and the bars in my city. Number one is the pain of letting her escape is worse than rejection. And when I mean letting her escape, I mean letting her walk away. Seeing that very beautiful, amazing girl and letting her just stroll on past you, and then for the rest of the day having to wonder, having to think about what could have happened is always worse than the little emotional, pain of rejection. Number two is that women don't tolerate beta male behaviors. And you know that sounds really corny to say beta male, right? But at the end of the day, women don't want to be with a beta male. They want to be with somebody emotionally strong, who's sure of themselves, and who basically doesn't need to pander to them and ask for validation. Number three is don't run away immediately after getting the number. It's very tempting to just get the girl's number and immediately split out of there and then try to text her later. The problem with that is it seems a bit weird after you had this amazing conversation to just dip directly after getting the number. It almost seems like you just wanted the number and you didn't really want to form a connection with the girl. So once you get the number, it can be very beneficial to keep talking to the girl for a minute or so after. Because after you've gotten the number, now you've moved past the stage of stranger, and now it's clear that you guys sort of like each other. So you can deepen that connection and make it a much more solid number where it's much more higher likely of a chance that you guys are gonna meet up later by just talking to her for a couple more minutes. All right, really quickly, if you're a guy that's not talking to a lot of women, or you're talking to women but it's not going that amazing, or you are going on dates with women but it's not the quality that you really want, and you potentially want to work with me so that I can help you get there fast, you can click the link below this video. Now let's keep going. Number four is stop trying to learn everything at once. And when I say stop trying to learn everything at once, I'm talking about game. I'm talking about social skills in your communication with women. It's very tempting to go on YouTube to read books and to try to memorize this massive library of information all at once, and then try to spit it all out at the same time when you're in an interaction with a woman. The problem with that is your brain becomes gridlocked. You're trying to pull out all of this information at the same time. You become so in your head that it ruins the interaction. So what you really should be trying to do is just try to fix one thing at a time. Try to add one new skill at a time, and that's gonna compound slowly and you're gonna learn in a way that's sustainable. Number five is to smile. This was a huge mistake that I personally made and that a lot of guys make, is we forget that we have facial expressions, pretty much. We forget to smile. So we go up to the girl with a very serious face, like, hey, excuse me, I just saw you walking by. And the girl, you have to remember that the girl doesn't know who you are initially with a cold approach. She doesn't know that you're a safe guy. She doesn't know that you're a cool guy. And she's not gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. She's gonna default to, okay, this guy's showing zero emotion. I'm gonna, err to the side of safety. So when I approach a girl and I make it very clear that I'm cool, that I'm in a good emotional state, it puts the girl at ease through mirror neurons, and it transfers that emotion to her. Number six is it's much harder to get better at this stuff without a mentor or without at least a friend who you can talk to this stuff about. Because when you're doing this stuff alone, you tend to have a lot of blind spots that you can't see from your own perspective, and you tend to get really down on yourself, and you don't have somebody to pick you up and set you on the right path again. Number seven is that you can be direct with women, but you can't be needy. So this is a huge mistake that guys have, is they mistake the idea of directness with neediness. So some guys' game with women is extremely direct. And what I mean by direct is they're letting it be known very obviously that they want the girl immediately. That there's no, like, I don't really need to get to know you at all. I'm just direct, like, let's go on a date. Like, let's go hang out. And so a lot of guys really conflate this with the idea of neediness, but that's actually not neediness at all. What neediness really is needing a girl to validate your self-worth. Needing a girl to feel good, to have good emotions in that moment. That's what neediness is. That's not directness. Some guys have a very direct style. I don't, because I need the girl to really prove herself to me. I don't just go based off of looks, but you can be very direct. And if you're not needy, you can get great results that way. Number 8 is to act like you've been here before. Act like you've already talked to a bunch of women before. Act like you've already been on dates before. Act like you've already pulled before. Now, this is really key. Even if you're somebody that doesn't have much experience at all, when you just act like it's almost obvious that the girl likes you, that it's almost obvious that the girl's gonna give you her number, then the girl perceives that as you having social proof of you having experience in the past. Okay, so even if you have zero experience in the past, then you need to get the ball rolling somehow. And if I go up to a girl and I act like I've never done this before, well, I'm never gonna get the ball rolling. But when I just had an amazing conversation with a girl and I wanna get the number or I wanna take her on an instant date, when I act like it's obvious and I'm just like, all right, yeah, we can hang out soon. What's your number? And I look down at my phone and I just, I'm expectantly waiting for her to start telling me her number, then she's gonna start giving me her number. Number 9 is to stop assigning value judgments to your emotions. A lot of times as men, we assign that it is actually bad to feel emotions. It's bad to feel anxiety. This is just a part of the human experience. Number 10 is approaching multiple women in one day gets you in a flow. Your brain is a social muscle. It warms up. This is why actors warm up. This is why when salesmen are about to go like cold call people, they warm up. Because what happens, your first approach of the day, that tends to be the one with the most tension. That tends to be the one where you're worried about rejection a little bit. But once you get into that state where maybe you already got rejected or maybe you already got a number, now you can flow. Now you're starting to able to talk forever. You get into a place where you can get multiple numbers in one day and have multiple options in one day, which is a lot better than, okay, let me approach one girl on Tuesday and then let me approach one girl on Friday. You're not gonna get very good at this skill that way. And you're not gonna have many options that way either. Number 11 is that cold approach isn't just about getting better with women. Now that's pretty much what everybody gets into it for, right? When I got into cold approach, I just wanted to get girls. But as I started practicing this every single day, I realized it changed pretty much my entire life. Well, why? Well, number 1 is because I realized I could overcome obstacles in my life. I could get better at things that were holding me back because my dating life was shit before. Number 2 is it allowed me to start conversations with anybody. It allowed me to be able to talk forever with everybody. That helped me with my job, my career. That helped me with making friends. Number 12 is that it doesn't make sense to close for a date if you're not flirting with a girl. So a lot of guys make the huge error, and it's cool if you're just in the beginning of doing this, of talking to a girl platonically. And so what happens when you're talking to a girl platonically or friendly for 30 minutes, for even 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden you jump out of the bushes and you're like, we should hang out sometime. Let me get your number. The girl's like, what? It almost doesn't make sense. The girl's like, why does this guy want to hang out with me? I thought he was just a friendly guy. He was having a friendly chit-chat conversation. It didn't seem like he liked me at all. You have to flirt with the girl and make it clear that you like her if you want to ask her out on a date. Number 13 is you'll never be in a Zen master state of zero tension before approaching a girl. This is a huge mistake that a lot of beginners make, is they think they need to fully overcome approach anxiety before talking to women. It's an if-then fallacy. It would be like if I said, you know what, once I get a six-pack, then I'm gonna start eating healthy and working out. It's like, no, you need to eat healthy and work out to get the six pack. You need to talk to women and ask them for their number to overcome the fear of talking to women and asking for their number. Guys who have done this for years are not fully exempt from this tension. We are human beings. Okay, except once you do this over and over again, you get desensitized to it, and then it becomes exciting. 14 is the way that you say things matters. So your delivery, your intention behind saying something. Teasing a girl in a way that's literally trying to put her down because you're insecure is going to come off a lot differently than if you're teasing a girl in a playful way that sort of has like sexual undertones. Okay, the intention shines through, and I think we've all had that experience where somebody has been like a massive dick to us and they said something like very hurtful or sort of like jealous, and it was clear that they were salty, you know, you would say, or they were trying to be hurtful. But then afterwards, they were like, no, I was just kidding, dude. Well, it's the same thing when you're using like flirting with women, when you're teasing women. So for example, I would see a girl wearing like a camo shirt and I would be like, yeah, I don't think you hunt. You're lying with that camo shirt. And the girl wouldn't be able to pick up on the fact that I was just trying to tease her and I was having a good time. So if I said it instead, like, yeah, you don't really hunt, you're lying, and I sort of had a little bit of smile, then it goes over a lot better. Number 15 is regardless of what you have going on in life, you need to be having fun. Regardless of your family troubles, your career troubles, physical ailments, the girl doesn't care. Okay, the people in the bar do not care. The streets do not care. Okay, so obviously I'm not saying to suppress these things. I'm not saying to repress these things. But the fact is that people do not care. So do not go out. This is a huge mistake that I made sort of subconsciously, was I was going out and I was trying to get people to make me feel better instead of going out and trying to share positive emotion. And nobody wants to be your therapist. You know, no girl wants to be your emotional care bear. And number 16 is talking to women is a skill. There's all the sub skills of talking to women. There's being able to talk forever, of telling stories, of being able to escalate, of being able to flirt. These are all skills that you can get better at. And as a byproduct of that, you will start having better interactions with women and going on dates with more women and higher quality women. Number 17 is to speak louder, especially if you're in a bar that has a very like, you know, loud environment, is the girl needs to be able to hear you. And when you're on the street and you're opening a girl, the girl needs to know that you're talking to her. Otherwise, a lot of times, she's just gonna brush right past you and like act like she didn't hear you. You almost need to sound like you have some authority in your voice, but it's like a happy authority. It's like a joyful authority. Number 18 is don't ask a lot of personal questions early on. And a lot of guys make this mistake, is they think the process of basically seduction or courtship is just, let me just get to know the girl over time. And so they immediately try to get to know the girl. But the thing is, the girl doesn't know that you're cool, once again. And I would make this mistake within 15, 30 seconds of talking to a girl. I would immediately be asking, oh, do you live around here? Oh, what do you do for work? And all these like really like personal questions about the girl, when you have to understand that she's not attracted to you yet. So why would she really care about telling you all of this information? Number 19 is that women want it to be spontaneous. They want to feel like it just happened. They don't want to feel like everything was planned out accordingly to your plan. So this is why when I go up to a girl, I usually just say whatever's on my mind. I generally don't like doing like pre-written like openers. I only use them if I go up to the girl and I literally feel like I don't have anything else to say. Then I have it, of course, in my back pocket as a tool. But women generally don't want to feel like everything was planned out and forced. That really makes them feel pressured. And it makes them feel like, well, why is this guy trying to force it so hard? They want it to be like a story, like a magical story that they can tell themselves and their friends. Now, funny enough, there is an exception to this rule. Because on dating apps nowadays, there are women who you could pretty much just be very direct that basically you just want to have sex with the girl, and that will happen. Number 20 is don't freak out when the girl isn't opening up to you immediately. You should be expecting to do 80 to 90% of the talking within the first minute or two of meeting a girl. This is just because, once again, the girl doesn't know you're cool yet. You know you're cool, you know you're an awesome guy, but she just doesn't know that yet. So really, in the beginning, I used to get super flustered when the girl was just giving me nothing to work with. And I didn't realize that this is pretty much what all women do, is they just want to see that you're a cool person before they start opening up more. So you should have the expectation of your mind before you go up to the girl that you're just gonna need to keep talking. You're just gonna keep, having to throw stuff out there until finally she hooks. Number 21 is that women are going to test you, especially if you're somebody who's very cocky or you're someone who's very outwardly confident. Women are going to test you, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's actually a good thing because it shows that you're in the category of someone that she's basically considering romantically. If you're not getting tested at all, it might be because you're not, confident enough really, or she doesn't even view you as a potential romantic partner. Number 23 is to make a note when you get a girl's number in the little note section of the contact so that you can remember who she is. I made this mistake of basically going out and maybe getting 10 girls' numbers in a day and then having just a name in the contact, and then I would just completely forget who the girl was, and then I wouldn't know what to text her. This would just be like a girl named Jessica on my phone. So I started writing a bit of notes, like, okay, this girl is from whatever, Kentucky, she does this or that, we talked about this in conversation. Okay, the next one is, you don't need to know it all before having great interactions with women, before having great dates and being able to pull women. You do not need to know every single social skill. All you basically need is a base of being able to keep talking, of being able to flirt, of knowing how to escalate. Everything else from that is like a bonus. It's like taking things to a whole nother level. You can succeed today if you trust in yourself to make statements. I already talked about earlier how asking a bunch of personal questions is a really bad thing to do, especially in the beginning of an interaction. The corresponding amazing thing to do is to make a lot of statements. This is huge. This is a huge part of having a good communication with women, is being able to provide your own personal input, tell your own stories, and being able to make observations and teases about the girl. Because when you're doing these things that I've mentioned, you're adding value to the conversation. You're not asking tell me this about yourself, tell me that about yourself, which is what you want to do eventually. But the girl isn't getting to know much about you when she's telling you about herself, right? So you need to give her a sample of your personality, and the way you do that is by making statements. Now, if you're a guy that wants to be able to flirt and escalate with confidence, or you want to start going on more dates consistently, or you want to start dating higher quality women, and you potentially want to work with me personally so that I can help you get there fast, you can go ahead and click the link below this video if you want and schedule a free strategy session with me. But that's all I have for the video today, guys, and I'll see you soon.